The Crypt Keeper has an origin story?
Tales from the Crypt.
Hi everyone, Tony from Hack the Movies here. Recently, Tales from the Crypt Demon Night had its 30th anniversary, and we covered it on this channel on my video podcast. If you're new here, I do a video podcast. Check it out. We talk about movies new and old. We go once or twice a week. I think you'll really enjoy it. Yes, we did Demon Night, which I love. I've always loved that movie, and I had a really good time revisiting it. I reveal in that review that I actually haven't watched too many Tales from the Crypt episodes. Tales from the Crypt is something I always wanted to watch, but I didn't have like HBO in the early 90s. I was wondering how I even saw it, because I remember catching it here and there, but apparently they would play reruns on like Fox or something, but like late at night, I think.
Yeah.
Must Scream TV. Must Scream TV, Friday nights on Fox 2.
As luck would have it, the ownership of Tales from the Crypt is still being disputed. I don't think all the parties involved can agree on who actually owns it, which means that someone uploaded all of the series to YouTube, and I'm guessing no one can take it down until they figure out who owns the show legally. So I've been catching up. I've really been enjoying it. Some of them I realize I have seen before. I didn't realize they were Tales from the Crypt episodes. So it was fun rewatching them. And I'm actually having fun watching a lot of them for the first time. Learning a lot about the show. I'm really digging it. And I was really shocked when I got to season 2, episode 14, titled
Lower Berth.
I was not ready for what I would find out in this episode. Things started off a little weird. The Crypt Keeper is playing with a baby doll, pretending he's about to kill it. Then he talks about how he's going to tell us a very personal story about one of his favorite horror heroes. So this is a story related to him personally. He has an attachment to it. Usually he's just there being like, hello, boils and ghouls. Let me tell you a story about a scarecrow or something. I don't do the best Crypt Keeper. We're just going to keep going. So yes, I was interested to watch this episode. And I actually really enjoyed it. It's directed by Kevin Yeager, who's done a ton of very famous special effects. He did like Chucky and a bunch of other things. His brother actually stars in the episode as well. It even features a couple character actors that I am familiar with, such as Mark Ralston. I know him as Drake from Aliens, but he was in X-Files and a few other shows. And Louis Arquette, who is one of the most famous It's That Guy actors. Look up his IMDb. You've probably seen this guy 100 times. He's also the father of all the famous Arquettes. David, Patricia, Rosanna, the other two. So yeah, he gets around. Or he did. He's dead now. Anyway, it's a fun little episode about a carnival sideshow. You see, there's this guy called Enoch. He's the two-faced boy. He's got two faces. And actually, it's a really cool effect. It's like makeup on one and then like a kind of remote control face on the other. And yeah, he's abused. He's sad. It's typical tortured monster stuff that you've seen before. And he's dying. He's very sad. He's dying. He's being used as just people's entertainment. He's breaking out and getting in trouble. His owner comes across a guy who's trying to get rid of a mummy called Myrna. Myrna was a poor slave girl who died 4,000 years ago. Somehow this guy won it in a card game or something, and he's trying to pawn it off on the circus. For some reason, Enoch really takes a liking to Myrna, even though she's a corpse and can't move. Myrna has a very special necklace on her that the guy claims is costume jewelry, but they soon realize it's real. Turns out there's a curse on it. If you try to touch the jewels on Myrna, something horrible will happen to your family jewels. That's right. There's a bald dick cutting off curse on this necklace. So The guy who sold it is afraid to touch it. He's hoping someone else touches it and gets the curse and he can get the necklace. Again, pretty funny episode. People double crossing each other. Eventually, Enoch's owner gets his balls cut off by Enoch when he goes to go touch the necklace, and the mummy comes alive.
Naughty boy.
And I was like, okay, that was amusing enough. Who's the horror hero that the Crypt Keeper was so fond of in this? Because Enoch is just like a tortured monster man. And Myrna barely did anything. She has a cursed necklace, but she doesn't really do anything in it. And I thought it was odd, but the episode kept going after what you think would be the natural endpoint. The circus sideshow owner finds out from the cops that they found Enoch and Myrna dead in a cave, and he goes to investigate the corpses. Like I said, Enoch was dying, so I guess he fled with her corpse, and since he didn't go after the necklace, she decided to be with him, and he lived out his last days in love, and then Myrna went back and rested in peace. There was an important bit of information early on that said that Myrna could not bear children in life. It was very tragic. So yes, the episode's almost done, and I went, how are these the Crypt Keeper's favorite horror heroes? And then the camera keeps panning, and I could not believe it. It was a baby Crypt Keeper. So the Crypt Keeper has parents.
Old Two-Face was my daddy, and the mummy was my mommy.
I had to rewind this like 5 times. I actually couldn't believe it. I really didn't expect the Crypt Keeper himself to interact with the plot of the story. As far as I know, where I am now in my viewing, it never happens. So that was pretty shocking. They kind of broke the fourth wall a little bit there, and the horror host became part of the story. Reminds me of an old Twilight Zone where a character in the story actually interacts with Rod Serling. Yes, the Crypt Keeper, I guess, is less than 100 years old, and he was born as a corpse baby with one face. Not a lot of Enoch's DNA got into the Crypt Keeper. He mostly got his mother's DNA. And yeah, I guess he lives in a cave, and he somehow made it to a crypt and started collecting comic book stories to tell us, the viewer. I don't know how I feel about the Crypt Keeper having a backstory. I don't want to know that much about him. I don't want him to be too much of a character. I want him to just be a wacky jokester who tells us the stories. But now I know the miracle of his birth, and it's really coloring my viewing of everything. So he's just always a corpse? So he was technically never alive? So why does he like death so much? Or he knows he's dead? And how is his life different than a regular life other than... it raises too many questions. And it bothered me so much, I had to do a video on it. I'm sorry, I really don't do stuff like this often. But I couldn't believe that the Crypt Keeper has an origin story. I hope there's more episodes about him in the future, to be honest. I would really like to see those. But yes, there's my reaction to the Crypt Keeper being a baby with parents and not knowing how to deal with it. Please like, share, and subscribe. Check out my podcast. Definitely check out the Demon Knight episode. It was a lot of fun. I did that with my good friend Tim from Tales From The Crypt. And if you don't know what that is, check out their website. They got some really great merch there. And you can use my promo code HackTheTony for a % off. Let me know what your favorite Tales From The Crypt episode is. Are there other episodes like this where the Crypt Keeper's actually involved? I really want to know. And yeah, let me know if you want more little videos like this where I take a look at weird things. I actually have watched all of Freddy's Nightmares, and there are some weird Freddy backstory stuff in those bad boys. Yes, that is it for me, Tony from Hack the Movies. Check all that out. If you really like the show, become a patron. We have some really cool stuff on Patreon. We have plenty of commentary tracks. There's stuff on there that you can buy without having to pledge. If you see a commentary track on there that you like, just buy it outright. It's cheaper if you pledge, you get more stuff, but it's up to you. Oh, also, and the podcast is on all the audio feeds, all the big podcast audio feeds. I'm very tired. I was supposed to go to sleep like an hour ago, but I had to do this video. I needed you to know what I know. All right, goodbye.
Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out our other videos and Patreon page.